All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second new features session of the day, from market signals to AI-ready models. If this is your first time in the new features track, welcome. My name is Casey Paxton. I'm the content marketing manager here at Akeneo, and I am your virtual host for all of the new feature sessions today. Now, just a small bit of housekeeping. So we do have a Q&A chat available during this session with technical product moderators standing by ready to answer your questions. So please feel free to take advantage of that throughout today's session and ask any questions that you may have. Now, without any further ado, I would love to invite our speakers for this session to the stage. We have Virginie, our Principal Product Marketing Manager, and Angèle, our Product Manager for PX Insights. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Casey. Let's start this session. Welcome, everyone, to this new features session. Some of you have probably already seen, either during the product keynote, if you already watched the replay, how market signals from channels, from customers, and from AI can help you understand what's missing in your product data. If not, don't worry, I'm about to do a quick recap in a minute. But understanding is not the hard part anymore. The real challenge is really how do you turn those signals into better product data in a way that actually scales. Because today, most teams already have access to valuable signals, but are they using it? Are they leveraging it to enhance their data model? Not sure. So Google Shopping feedback, customer reviews, AI-driven insights on visibility and ranking, this is what we're going to explore today. Because again, too often that data stays disconnected from the catalog itself. And that's exactly what this session is about, how to bring those signals into your product model to continuously improve your data and make your catalog truly AI ready. I'm Virginie Blot, I'm Product Marketing Manager at Akeneo. In my daily life, I'm working closely with our product team to bring new features to life and make sure to deliver the maximum of value to our users. And I'm glad to be joined by Angèle today.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Angèle. I am Staff Product Manager at Akeneo, and especially looking after PX Insights.
And so what we'll show you today is not just features. It's really how to turn these signals into concrete actions through real-life scenarios you can apply right away. Before we dive into the session, we are super curious to understand who's with us today. So we have prepared a quick poll. So let me launch that for you, and please take a few seconds to answer to that. So it's not the good one that I launched, but that's not a big deal. Please answer to that one. It was supposed to be the second one. We have only 3, but we'd love to know more from you in your organization. Who is primarily responsible for shaping product data model? Is it the PIM/data team? Is it the e-commerce and merchandising team, the digital, the IT? Is it shared across different teams? Or is it blurry, not clearly defined? Please take a few seconds to answer to that. That will be super appreciated. Let's have a quick trend. It's the PIM data owners. Yeah, great, thank you. And now what we wanted to, so I don't have the question I wanted, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna move with the slides, Angèle. So we wanted to know from you. So maybe you can write that in the chat. That would be again super appreciated from you. Again, what is your role today in your organization? Are you part of the e-commerce team, the PIM owner? Who are you? Don't hesitate to use the chat to tell us more about you. So let's go back to the topic. Again, you may have heard if you watched the keynote. If not, not a big deal. Again, I'm going to explain that. But you will hear for sure about the idea of the self-improving catalog, the responsive product cloud. A catalog that doesn't just store product data, but really listen to the signals. So in 3 times, this is how we really orchestrate the market signals, how we can take action from that. So number 1, we sense the signals. We listen to them, we gather them, the ones that make sense for your business, your industry. Then, of course, we suggest improvements that are super relevant to be better on those channels. and whatever, we scale. What makes sense for your business, internal team, external partners, we scale those evolutions. So again, 3 main times. We do sense the signals, we suggest the relevant improvements for your data catalog, your data model, and we scale that across the entire catalog. That was really the key theme of our spring release this year. So again, before we jump into the use cases, let's quickly align on what this session is really about. At the core, the question we are exploring is simple. Does your product data model actually reflect your market reality? We are moving from static data to the more adaptive way of modeling. Don't be surprised, this is the new layer, this is the latest step before the agentic product cloud. So we really want to make sure that our users, our customers adopt that shift, recognize that shift to be ready when agentic AI, agentic product cloud is coming. So let's be super concrete. And maybe I have a second poll question, Angèle, before I give you the floor. What typically drives your product data improvement priority today? How do you decide to do some changes on your data model? Is it based on channel feedback, errors, mistakes, customer feedback already? Are you taking that into account? Maybe some SEO, performance figures, internal business priorities. Is it ad hoc, or do you already have a process on that? So please take a few seconds to vote, and we will close the poll. Thank you very much. It seems that we have a lot of people taking account the SEO, Angèle, the SEO signal.
We don't see the results.
Not yet. No, I will close that
suspense.
in a minute. Not a big suspense, but yes. Okay, so let's start with this first use case. Angèle, show us how we listen to the market, to the feedback of Google Shopping, I think.
Yes, perfect. So let's move to the demo screen, please. Yes, perfect. Thanks a lot. So indeed, let's start with the first type of signal, which is Google Shopping, because we know that most of you invest in Google Shopping, and we want to show you how PX Insights can help you secure your current ads revenue. Okay, so to get started, we are in the PIN, so in the activity menu, in the PX Insights dashboard, and we are under the Google Shopping tab. And what we can see here is actually all the ongoing issues that are impacting the visibility of your products on Google Shopping. So the first thing to do is actually potentially to filter under all the products who are under an active ad campaign. So it means that your business, your organization is spending money to promote especially this product. So let's prioritize these ones to be fixed in priority. So let's take an example. Like, let's say we have an error reported by Google that the description is too short. So there is a description about what is the issue, the number of impacted products. So there are different ways to tackle this issue. Let's say you have a few minutes in front of you, then you can tackle all these 12 products one by one, leveraging the sequential edit capability of the PIN. So that's one way to do this. Now, let's say that actually you are not responsible for that. So that could be someone else in your team, or you don't have the time just right now. You can then send this list of products to a workflow. And for this use case, I created one that I call the Google Shopping troubleshooting workflow. Okay, and then you can treat it as part of the workflow. We can go even further actually and automatize some of these issues fixing, leveraging the combination of the rule engine and VA configuration. So the way it works in practice. So let me show you. I have actually set up a rule. So I'm in the settings for those who are less familiar with the PIN, in the rule section. And I have created a rule where basically all the products will have an additional description short, as we can see here. Plus, I added a criteria about the family. So all the products who are under the baskets family. Then I want to use actually AI to fix this content for Google. And so for that, I used actually an AI configuration. So now let me bring you to the settings AI configuration section, where actually in there, I have set up a certain criteria, like which data to take into account. We can even take customer reviews into account. We will come back to that one. But for now, I wanted to insist on the custom prompt in which I really infused what are the Google rules to have actually an optimized description for Google. So once you have done all of that, then you have the rule that can run on a regular basis to fix these kind of issues. Of course, once you have kind of solved these issues, you need to make sure that your content is being then properly syndicated. And we wanted to actually call today with Virginie the direct integration we have with our syndication module that is called Activation, and where we have a direct connection with Google Shopping to push this improved content and make sure that you have an optimized feed on Google Shopping. Okay, so that's what we wanted to show you to get started with Google Shopping and how you can optimize your product feed for Google Shopping. We are bringing some other Google Shopping signals in the grid, in the product edit form. Well, for the sake of time today, we cannot go into all the details, but at least, that's one way you can already leverage Google Shopping. Now, let's move to the second type of signals that we are bringing with PX Insight, which is the customers' reviews. Because we know that most of you collect customer reviews through third-party platforms like Yotpo, Bazaarvoice, and so on. But actually, what we hear when discussing with clients is that a little percentage use this information to optimize the product experience on a regular basis. All right? So to illustrate what information we bring and how you can leverage this in the context of Akeneo, let's start from the product grid, because most of you are familiar with the product grid. So what you can see here is new type of data. So first of all, maybe let me show you that I created a view for the low-rated products. So to get started with reviews, I want to focus on the low-rated products. And what we can see is actually that we are bringing the rating score about this product, the number of reviews, but also business data like the return rate. And of course, this information that you can see as a column, the interesting thing is that it can be used also as a filter. So it can really help you prioritize which products deserve attention based on this criteria. Okay. So for the demo today, okay, we are product manager, we want to know what's happening with these products who have a low rating score and an increasing return rate. So let's select these products. And then to further analyze them, we are going to push them to a workflow I created called Review Low-Rated Products. All right. So now let's move to the workflow. And I am in my workflow. I have a certain number of products to review. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to look at this row, for instance. And what we can see here, so we are in the detailed product in the PX Insight section, where of course we can find back the quantitative information, but also all the qualitative information being analyzed. Okay. So of course we can see that there are some negative sentiment themes being highlighted. It seems that there are some issues with the durability, with the quality of the product. And to troubleshoot even further, you can look at more individual reviews to understand what's happening. Okay. And then you can take the appropriate action, like maybe there is an issue at the moment with the supplier. Maybe, of course, there is product data to be improved to better manage customer expectation and so on. Okay. But we are going to go further into this aspect on how you can improve the product data in a second. But at least that's the kind of things you can already learn from the customer reviews. Now let's go back to our product grid. So I will go back to the product grid, and for the second use case we wanted to show with Virginie today, we are going to focus now on the top rated products. Okay, so this one, as you can see, I want to focus on the baskets family, and for all the products to have a rating above 4. Okay. So here, what we are going to do, we are going to launch an analysis with Payx Insight. So let me show you to actually do the comparison, a gap analysis between what you have in your PIM as information and what customers say about your product. Okay, to really illustrate what are the areas of improvement to improve these products and further amplify them. So to check the results, we are going to now go back into the dashboard, but this time in the rating and reviews section. Okay, so in there we find back this basket that we wanted to further analyze, and we wanted to call out a few interesting insights. So starting with this one. So you see, just as an introduction, so this is kind of a classic basket where you put usually your plant in it, and most of you maybe have this kind of things at home, this kind of products. So an interesting feedback is actually that some customers noted that there was a faint natural scent because of the natural material. And so as a suggestion, actually, it's being recommended to improve and update the scent attribute to explain and to better manage customer expectation that actually, because of the natural and the quality of the materials, the smell can be strong at the beginning. And so that, yeah, it should be mentioned from start in the description or in the scent attribute in that case. But also potentially even include a care instruction on how you can promote, you can put the product outside the first time, voilà, to avoid this kind of error. So that's an example. The other one we wanted to call out is the description clarity. Because what is being said is that some reviews praise the basket's versatility, suggesting the need to expand on other potential uses beyond decorative purposes. And really to give ideas to project the consumers on what they can do with this product, and as a business consequence, improve the conversion. So for that, of course, the description attribute can be improved to kind of embed some of these use cases. But also another interesting one is to potentially integrate additional multimedia. Okay, and so that's a use case we kind of pushed a bit further, and we will show you actually how we leverage let me show you actually the reviews of the product. So we are in the product edit form, in the Payx Insight section. And I wanted to call out actually what we can see this time on the positive side of the sentiment teams, inside the team functionality, where we see actually that user appreciates its versatility for storage. Towels, shoes, bags, throws, magazine, toys, pillows, and so on. And of course, you can check all of that in the dedicated reviews. But remember that actually in the dashboard, in the picture, it's only a plant in it. So how can we help the client and the consumer to project himself? So with Virginie, we actually created an AI configuration that we called a visual content brief. Okay, for which, and so this is actually in the settings in the AI configuration. And we have taken into account data that you already have in your PIM, but also the user reviews that we bring with Payx Insight. So what you just saw in the previous screen. Okay, so that's really the fuel for this AI configuration. And then, of course, we created a custom prompt to ask AI to, based on customer reviews and identified product feedback, generate a visual content brief to improve product understanding and reduce customer uncertainty. And now the results of that, so we are going to go back into the product edit form in the attribute part. We created a dedicated attribute for that content that we call the visual content brief AI generated, and in which we can find actually different scenarios that can be used then to kind of generate this picture. So just to mention an example, okay, you can have this basket in living room settings with a description explaining what should be the scene. Same for the bathroom storage. Okay, so this is an interesting and concrete example on how you can leverage reviews to actually generate a brief and then create more assets with these inputs.
Yeah, so it can be content, it can be picture, visuals, whatever makes sense for your business. Really, that's the beauty of customer insights. You can use them, leverage them as it's relevant for your business. So that's really what we wanted to show you, how we can explore the user feedback. Can be negative or positive, but you can always enhance your product experience thanks to those customer insights. So in the first 2 use cases, we focused on fixing issues and aligning product content with customers' expectation. But there's another dimension that's becoming critical, Angèle, that we keep talking about this year for the spring release, how your products actually appear in AI-driven search experiences, in LLM, basically. So AI system decides what products to show or not based on how well your data answers those questions. So the questions becomes, do you know how your products show up actually? And more importantly, do you know why they rank or don't? And this is exactly what you are about to show us, Angèle, thanks to PX Insights and another tab within PX Insights.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, so let me go back to the PX Insights dashboard to introduce actually here we go. So to introduce 2 complementary features we introduced with PX Insights to help you understand how you surface and how ready you are basically for LLMs. So the first one, the AI readiness, will really help you to answer the question, is your product data machine readable? So that's really the first key question. And so for that, what do we do behind the scenes? So with PX Insights, so you can enter your product page URL. So it's really based on the product URL that you have on your own website. And we go and scrape the product schema on your website. So really important, because we have some confusion sometimes on which data we look at. We look at what AI is looking for. So really the schema, so the information which is basically more hidden for like the classic consumer, the human, who go on your website and see the classic HTML data on your website. So we scrape the schema, and we analyze this against a geo and SEO checklist, okay, on what should be in there to perform well for SEO and geo, because product schema, just as a side note, is also a tool that is existing since a long time for SEO, but is becoming even more important today with geo. So as a result of this analysis, you will get 2 scores, like a geo and an SEO score out of 100, and a short summary about, okay, why you have this score. And then you will kind of get a breakdown of which data you have or which data is missing to really show some areas of improvement. So let's take an example. For instance, we know identifiers are very key for AI to actually cross-check the information across different systems. So it's super key to have this information mapped in your product schema. Okay. So you will see the important data breakdown in 4 key areas. So here we are under the product data section, okay? But then you have also everything which is related to the commerce. So like the offer, the shipping and delivery information. The trusts, like rating and reviews is a strong example. And it's key to have it mapped to your product schema. And also everything which is related to guides and FAQs. Okay. A note about the score. The scores that we see here can seem low, but actually this is what we are seeing in a lot of cases, because the information is actually most of the time present, but not mapped to your product schema. And it's key to have it in your product schema, structured in the proper way. Okay. So, however, if you don't have this information, we have actually with PX Insights created a set of 5 attributes that can be easily added to your product catalog, and everything is kind of prepackaged to actually generate the content for that. Okay, so you can, with one click, add this attribute to your existing families in the PIM. And then, so if we go back to our basket to see how it works for the enrichment, so let me bring you here. So let's go into the PX AI attribute. So this is where you can see what are these attributes that are added, like the customer intent, the FAQs, for instance. And then you can use AI. So let me show you with the generate with PX Insights. So nothing needs to be set up front. And basically, we kind of prepackage everything. And what AI is doing right now, it's looking for both what customer reviews you may already have in your PIM, set up in your PIM, but also we are using the web search. And we look and aggregate all this information to kind of list what are the key FAQs you should add in your for this product, and then of course syndicate to your different channels and to your schema, of course. All right. So that's actually for the AI readiness feature, and to really help you answer the first question: is your product data machine readable? So that's the first, and it's a good starting point to be geo ready. That's really the foundation.
Yes.
We have also another feature that we call the AI discovery. So the AI discovery, the angle and the analysis is a bit different. So here, the question we are going to answer is your product data being recommended for a given search query? So really the starting point here is the search query. So what actual consumers are searching for, and is your product being recommended or not? So for that, of course, as we just said, the search query is a critical parameter. So I don't show you the generation of this analysis, but you can totally edit this search query to really emphasize on what criteria, what attributes you want your product to be recognized for. Okay, so that's super key to do that. And then, of course, you will have to define two other parameters for the analysis, for the scope of the analysis. Are you a manufacturer or a distributor? And for which market do you want to run this analysis? Because if we do the same search query in France, in Germany, in the UK, we will not have the same answer, potentially. So now let's deep dive into the analysis results. So the first thing you will learn is, is your product being ranked or not? In that case, so here we change from the basket. We are now back into more the baby cut kit stuff. And so here we see that the product is not being recommended for this search query. And of course, you want to understand why. And so this is where you get an overall summary about why you are not being ranked, some of the key points, and you also get a benchmark about what competitive product have been recommended. And maybe let's pause here. It's actually super interesting and insightful to look at what these competitors do differently and learn from potentially some of the things they have implemented to be better ranked. Now, what you get also as part of this analysis is concrete action, concrete suggestions of what you can do to improve your current situation. And so this is where, for those who already saw some of PX Insights, we introduced lately this new type of suggestion to make them even more actionable for you, especially in a PIM context. So we have brought down the suggestion in 4 categories. So the first one is about product data suggestion. So here we really look at your existing PIM attributes, like we did for the reviews, and we identify what are the attributes that can be improved in the context of this search intent. Okay. We have suggestions about what are the attributes missing in your data model, and we will deep dive into this one in a minute. And then we have more marketing suggestion. That can be more actions to be taken at a domain level. So adding a page, for instance, to explain, what is a baby safe hypoallergenic quilt guide. Sorry for my pronunciation on the quilt. Quilt guide. And then you have more like technical suggestions, okay, like what information should be added in your schema, for instance. And you have also access to the AI decision sources. So here is really like kind of opening this AI black box and see behind the scenes like where AI has been looking at to actually give that recommended results. So it's also very interesting to look at it. And you can see that it's not only looking at brand data, but also AI is looking to cross-check the information and what you say on your brand with sources like Reddit, for instance, or other blogs about this type of queries. Now let's go back to our suggestions and to the new attribute one. Virginie was mentioning like the iterative data model, and so that's exactly where we are here. And what attributes can be added to actually perform better for this given search query. So let's look at this one, for instance, encode use case fit for baby and climate. And so here it's saying that, okay, parent search by season, warm, briefability. And so it's super key to have it in dedicated attributes to actually, as I said, avoid parsing long copy in description. So that's key to have this kind of structured information. So let's look at adding, for instance, the warmth level as a dedicated attribute. So I'm gonna, let's say, be in the shoes of a product manager. I suggest this attribute to be added. I can say in this additional comment to perform better on LLM. And then I will submit this attribute to be added to my PIM admin within control of the data model to validate if we can add this attribute. So to check the results, I can go in the settings. So I'm now in the shoes of the PIM admin. I go into the data architect agents. I go in the CPIM audit, and then I have a tab called suggestions. And in there, I can find back actually this attribute, so the warmth level I just created with the source where it's coming from, and I can review and accept. Just before doing that, I wanted to show you that actually we spoke about activation, and we have actually other suggestion and adding attributes that can come from the users of our syndication module, and they can push also this information to the PIM admin to add this information in the PIM at the source of truth. Okay, so if we just look for a second on the complete flow, so we review this attribute, we can see that actually the AI behind the scenes, the model will suggest which type of attribute it should be for our data model. We can edit if we want, the attribute group, and then we can just submit the attribute to be created. And now if we go to our attribute, I think it was called the warm level, here we go, and we see that actually the attribute is being processed and is being created in the data model. Last thing on the demo for today is actually we introduced also as part of the spring release a new dashboard to really aggregate all the information you just saw, so the different suggestions at a broader level to help you understand where you should start optimizing. And you can do that if you want to focus on specific country or on specific families in your PIM, for instance. And of course, you can also filter per type of actions. And then so it gives you that kind of checklist of things you can start with to improve your data model in that context.
Yeah, and also take decision.
And take decisions.
If you see, like when I see 35 in the data model, it really means that this one would be super beneficial for a lot of products. So I would definitely prioritize this one, for instance. Maybe one thing, Angèle, when you show, when we suggest some new attributes creation, we went, of course, into the data architect agent. Can you just show us, please, on the main, dashboard when we arrive now? First, you can customize this dashboard. You have a button at the top right to define what makes sense for you on your everyday life, what you want to appear. This is new also for the spring release. And so you have this suggestion powered by Data Architect agent summarized here. So you can see if you are the person responsible to enhance, to make the data model evolve. So you can see all the suggested enhancements from your teammates. Again, the one listening to the market, the SEO team, the GEO teams, the activation team. So it's really a centralization of all the suggested enhancements. So you have a clear vision of what should be prioritary. Maybe we can go back to the slides, Angèle, to maybe summarize what you just explained when we talk about AI discoverability. Because what is super important for you to understand is that we have put together in Akeneo the equivalent of these 4 pillars that are keys to be visible in the age of AI, actually. So Angèle, I'll let you talk you through that, but that's what matters for our users, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's, as you said, the 4 key pillars to perform well on GEO. So the first question is like to have the right data and machine readable. So to have it structured and machine readable, so especially the schemas, as we just discussed.
So for that, we have AI readiness.
AI readiness, exactly. Then you need to, of course, have your product validated across the web. And so this is really the data consistency in that case, which is very key. To have a source of truth and make sure that, this source of truth and this information, the information remain consistent across all your sales channels. Then you need to, so the third pillar is what we call the signal. So are actually people talking about you right now? And this is key to actually learn from your customer reviews to kind of improve the content and to be found for given search intent, to really hear from them. And of course, as we just discussed, the be recommended. So are your products being recommended for a given search query?
And for that, really, the user intent matter a lot.
Exactly.
This is why we started by showing you how you can leverage the user reviews, because doing that, you are not just fueling and enhancing your SEO, you are also definitely enhancing your GEO and how LLMs will suggest your product. So that's really a virtuous cycle. Not only you take action from your customer feedback, but definitely you fuel your SEO and GEO, your overall discoverability. So that's super relevant. Maybe just to know, guys, can you just answer that quick poll question? I swear this is the last one, but we would love to know and to hear from you about where you are today with AI-driven product discovery. Is it really a topic already? Is it just something that, this is coming, this is here, we need to take action, we need to consider that? So where are you today on that? We give you a few seconds to please answer to that. That's really valuable for us. So if you can just take the time to answer, please. Okay, so some of you are actively optimizing and waiting for more answers before publishing the results, but that's still interesting. It seems that some of you have already started initiatives. That's great to know. So again, we wanted to show you, our way of approaching that, and we will finish on how to take action, even if you, Angèle, started to talk about that. Yes, so I'm quickly presenting the result, the trend. So you are exploring, or not yet, you are considering it. For some of you, you are starting some initiatives. So it's a mix. Mix of feedback. So now again, we wanted to add a few words. So maybe Angèle, really that's the summarize of what Angèle showed you today. So from AI readiness that we consider as the foundation to answer to that question, how to make sure we are understandable, how to make sure we are recommended. For that, you have the AI discovery part of PX Insights. And then, of course, you can take action in the team thanks to the suggestions, the optimization and enrichment we suggest. And of course, you still have the activation module of Akeneo to syndicate and better distribute. So that's really what we have combined in Akeneo to directly take action where it matters. We also wanted to say a few words about this agentic world, Angèle.
Quickly, because indeed we have questions about this. So we wanted to clarify that we have actually built a connection with Stripe to be ready for the agentic commerce. And with Stripe, actually, we'll be able to feed the different LLM platform for this agentic world. So voilà, that's something we wanted you to be aware of today.
Yeah, so here also it means that if you are already using Stripe, if you think about it, if you consider it, just know that everything you do in your product cloud foundation will be super valuable because you just have to click on it and send that to Stripe. It will then do the job for all the other agentic commerce. So that's super valuable too. So again, what we wanted to show you with these 3 use cases, it's what I just said before, it's really that combining all of that, combining the feedback from users, you definitely fuel, thanks to the AI automation, the generative AI that Angèle showed, thanks to dedicated prompts, you can leverage the FAQs, the usage, the context, and so that you can be more discovered. So that's really critical. This is easy to take act on. You wanted to say some words on that, Angèle?
Yeah, just quickly on that one, just to explain that all these signals that we are collecting can really help you already optimize today, but also being ready for the AI-driven search, which is emerging for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, when you take action on SEO side, you also take action on GEO side. And yeah, what we wanted to remind you, we were talking about market signals, but actually they are everywhere at any stage, because the key question, the recurring question we have from our customers is really, when is the most relevant moment to start getting ready? Actually, it's now. I mean, even if you have already that data model that is live, even if you are just starting your data model, this is always the good moment, because to me, the sooner you start, the better. But again, it's never too late, and it's so easy to use with PX Insights. You can decide to start small, to start only on specific products, on your top products, to learn from that, and then scale the usage. About the teammates, we also have regularly this question that who should do that, should consider that, who is responsible for AI discoverability. And our answers to that is really that the people, the teams working already in the PIM are the best, because as you saw, they are the ones who can take action, can suggest action. Even if they are not the one directly enhancing the data model, they can be the one suggesting, so that you can really save time, because they know what makes sense for the product, what would be some quick wins. And again, the beauty with PX Insights is that it's really a continuous loop. You will keep on learning. So when you have a specific rank on day 1, you can enhance, you can review, you can optimize, do that again, do a new PX Insights analysis a few weeks later, and you will see immediately how it has evolved. So I don't think we have some questions. You are really quiet today. If you have any question, I think you can download a one-pager about AI discoverability and what we offer. Otherwise, you know that you have everything on our Ad Center in Akeneo. So don't hesitate to reach out also to your Akeneo Customer Success Manager. If you have any question, if you want a demo, if you want us to do that with you, to show you how it works with your own product, we are always happy to learn with you, to show you how it works. So really, don't hesitate. Thank you, Angèle, for your demo today. Thank you for joining, and see you.
See you.
All right, thank you, Virginie and Angèle. It's so exciting to see all of the new functionality. As Virginie mentioned, we have a downloadable PDF available in the agenda overview for this session. It highlights a lot of the great functionality within PX Insights, a lot of the AI discoverability features that Virginie and Angèle just covered, so be sure to check that out. Now, we only have one more session for you all. This day has flown by, so for the last round of labs today, you have 2 options again. So you can stick with me in the new features track for a session titled Confidently Ingest External Product Data with Demi and Andrea, or you can jump over to an existing features lab with Jennifer and Christopher called Scale Your Product Story, AI-Driven Consistency for Higher Customer Lifetime Value. Both sessions are great. You really cannot go wrong. But that's all we've got for you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next session.